Alright, I'm driving to my granddad's and I'm going to talk to you about the game last night. Lucky you. We won. We're through. Now, what a fucking turn up for the Bucks that is, considering we once again played absolutely dog shite. And you know what really hurts about that? Because I'll say up front, I didn't even celebrate the Jude Bellingham goal, right? Because I was too angry about what had come before it that I couldn't even, in that moment, my instinct was to almost be annoyed at us. Because not only did we not deserve to equalise throughout the game, but we hadn't earned it even through tactical ingenuity. Southgate hadn't earned it, and I was sat there seething that he hadn't changed our system, he hadn't changed our approach, he had barely even changed a player before the 83rd minute. He'd only changed Palmer on for Trippier because he fucking had to, because Trippier was injured. If it wasn't for that, who knows when he would have changed someone for the first time, because it took him to the 83rd minute to bring Eze on. And I love Eze, but why Eze? Why not Gordon? He's been screaming out for Gordon on that left wing. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. The point is, I couldn't even celebrate us winning because of all the things I've just said above. And so, yes, we're through, but my family were like, why are you unhappy? Why are you unhappy? And I'm like, because as it stands, it's just extending the pain. Because as it stands, we haven't got a hope in hell against Switzerland. Just going to reset the old blower. We haven't got a hope in hell against Switzerland. And if things don't change, we will get absolutely pumped by Switzerland. And I was saying to my family, because I'm staying up with my family at the moment, I was saying that's not a fun thought. And secondly, it's not fun to think that you're at the whims of a manager who is either too ignorant or too stubborn to see what is clear in front of him. Now, that is made worse by the fact that all the things that this team needs are things that I and many other people were saying from before the first game, because we could see these problems back in the Iceland game. Fair enough, first game you'd be like, I'm going to start who I feel are the best players to put on the pitch, and that's Southgate's prerogative to do that. Then we get to the second game. Fair enough, it's the biggest game of the group, you trust those players. I can see that you might only change one player. He ended up changing none. He kept Trent on. I thought that was already a bit insane. Maybe we could have already changed it to Manu, but fine, whatever. Third game, we've had two diabolical games by this point. Why are you not putting the fear of God into those players and starting and changing the team? Can you imagine any great manager settling for a fucking performance like that? Alex Ferguson. Can you imagine Alex Ferguson watching our first two group games and thinking, yeah, I'll start the same lads? Even if you think it might disrupt the system, which it fucking won't because the system wasn't fucking working, even if that, just from a point of view of like morale, from a point of view of like, let's make the opponent feel like they might face something different to what they've seen. But as it stands, every opponent we've had has been able to set up and play exactly as the previous team played, knowing that we aren't going to be different, and that's worked against us already. So how the fuck are we supposed to be confident going into this round of 16 game, starting essentially the same team, and he's only starting Manu because it's fucking ridiculously obvious that that's the case. He's not changing it up at left back, he's not changing it up at left wing, and he's not changing up the movement of the double pivot. He's not changing up number 10. He hasn't tried anything else up top, like up until the 93rd minute when he brings Tony on. So then we start this game, and I'm watching and I'm like, it's the fucking same again. The exact same again. So any manager would be like, right, I've got it wrong. If not now, fucking 2 games ago. Right, this isn't working, I need to change it. So, point being is, I'm heading into the next game against Switzerland, who are our first real test. Thinking, he's not going to change it again. Which is insane to think, really. He's not going to change it again. Despite the fact that the only reason we're still in this tournament is because of a moment of individual brilliance. And there is the key. Individual brilliance. Not fucking Southgate Tactical Masterclass. It wasn't produced by any of his subs. Palmer, Eze, Tony. The second goal, Tony helped in, don't get me wrong. But in order to stay in the tournament, we required a long throw from Walker and a bicycle kick from Bellingham. Something out of this world. And if it wasn't for that, or if that hits the post, we're having a very different... we're having a very similar conversation today, actually, except the difference being Southgate's been fired or resigned, and everyone's going fucking mental. Well, I'm still going fucking mental. Because we're going to start the same team in the next game. If we start Gordon on the left, as we should, or Gomez at left back, as we should, I will eat my fucking hat. And that makes me sad. So my family are like, why are you upset? Why are you upset? And I'm like, because we're dead men walking. We are going into another game with a manager who is too ignorant or too stubborn to change, knowing full well we're going to get outplayed again. This isn't going to be a surprise. I'm not going to be surprised when we get outplayed, and neither should you, because I wouldn't be outplayed is a bit strong, but we've been, I'm going to say, outplayed in the first 4 games. So why would any manager with any fucking beans in his bean box keep things the same? And even if he is changing things tactically, strategically, it's not working. So why would any manager not at least think, maybe I can change some personnel? Maybe Palmer, the player of Chelsea's season, and an argument to say he was the best player in the Premier League that last season as a whole, maybe Palmer's worth starting, and maybe we can bring Saka in off the bench. Maybe Gordon's worth a go, or Eze instead of Foden, because if you like that left winger cutting in, then Eze's going to cut in. Give him a go. I understand you have to start Bellingham, but maybe you could just finish with Bellingham. He clearly has an ego. Maybe that's not right from man management point of view. I can understand that. Maybe Foden is the one to drop out of them too. But you get my point. Why are these things not at least being considered? So then when the game comes and we start struggling, and we probably will go behind, and I'm going to be watching thinking, oh, well, at least we'll try our plan B now, and it doesn't happen. What the fuck are we going to do then? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go out of the tournament, and I'm going to be fucking infuriated because there's so much more we could have tried. Which brings me on to my final point. Why the fuck do we all get wrapped up in the 26-man squad if you're not gonna fucking use it? Use it! Use it! Like, if you're gonna bring a player and say, oh, he has these qualities that are better than this player and that's why I'm bringing him, use the fucking qualities! What are you taking Gordon for, if not to do exactly what we need to do? He brings on fucking Tony, and thank God that turned up trumps. Fuck me, because it didn't. It only did because he had a chance to turn up trumps because Bellingham scored a worldie. Now, don't get me wrong. I've now shifted pretty much all my emphasis away from it's partly the players and partly the manager, to being it's the manager. That's what I've switched to, because the players, I do think they're working the socks off, and I do think they're lost, as per like comments from Gary Lineker and whatnot. I think they're lost. I don't think they know what system they're playing or how to play that system, because they're not used to playing it for their clubs. So I'm full Gareth right now. Whatever happens in this tournament, he has to go. I did a video on this channel before the tournament started saying this tournament will define Southgate's legacy. And trust me, if he'd have gone out last night, I wouldn't have been saying he's the worst manager since whatever. I was going to say sliced bread. But I would have understood that everyone else would have been saying that. Everyone else would have been saying Southgate is the worst manager since Roy Hodgson and all this shit, because they would have forgotten about the fucking semi-finals and the final and all this. And fair play to him. It would have been a very horrible, horrible fallout. And the truth is, that's still going to happen. We're going to go out to Switzerland unless a miracle occurs again. Thanks for watching.